Yo guys, I've got a spark which I'm going to use to ignite the fire for a brand new episode of the Skylanders Imaginators Soul Seekers series here on the channel. Now you'll notice a few things immediately going into this episode. First of all, we have the Wumpa Islands unlocked, so without this is loading in, I'm going to push the first button of the game, the skip button, get this unnecessary deep stew out of here. That's what we're talking about. So you're about to spawn in on the beach in Wumpa Islands, which is a level that usually you can only unlock with Crash Bandicoot Doctrinator Cortex, and this case around it's no different. I placed onto the portal off camera Crash Bandicoot, but since it happened off camera, it doesn't really count toward the series, so naturally it's not as though we've seeked out the soul of Crash Bandicoot yet. That's something to come up in this episode actually, and I'm going to be post-commentating these clips back to back, so for the next 2 episodes you're going to have this same post-commentary type style, and I'm just going to chop them up in the edit halfway through or at a convenient point in my sentence, so to say. I'm not just going to end an episode mid-sentence, as hilarious as that would be. So let's talk about for Boom Bloom here immediately. Now obviously we're going for 100% completion as per the norm, and whenever parts of the level even pop up that require the presence of Crash Bandicoot or Doctrinator Cortex, what we're going to do is we're simply going to swap out for them, spawn into the area at hand, and then all of that process is going to be cut out of the video, so much like placing Crash Bandicoot onto the portal before the recording of this episode. Just like that, because none of it actually took place on camera. It's almost as though in the series it never even happened. That's called cutting content out of the series for you right there. And cut content is not content that is canon. It's content that technically does not exist in part of the show's storyline. Now what we can do here is we can either go on the play button and play out the pattern, or we can just pay attention to the pattern in the background and then jump on the corresponding coloured platforms. Very clever out. I love how this level works with its arithmetic platform and type design. It really does throw you into the world of Crash Bandicoot. Is what would happen if you combine these 2 franchises, and it's so perfectly executed. Now those boombox are collectible in and of themselves, so in this level we have souls to seek out, soul gems specifically, as well as treasure chests and boomboxes, so we're going to try and get to 100% completion. But this is something that I'm post-commentating, as I had to record this twice. Now I have the original commentary files, but I don't have the original gameplay files because I quit out of the game application on my PlayStation 5 before hitting the record button on the software, so naturally it basically means that all of the footage I had of my original run-through of this level is lost, so I had to go back through on my PlayStation 4, a separate file, and go back through this level, so that then it's caught up to the PlayStation 5 save. I haven't done this on the PlayStation 4 instead, but it does mean that unfortunately all of the Imaginate chests that I collected along the way, because they're randomly generated, it means that whilst the gameplay and the collecting can all be of the exact same as the original, what can't be the same is the exact Imaginate parts that I collected. So yes, that means that those original Imaginate parts that I collected will never be first discovered in this series again, and then for ones that I'm discovering here on this walkthrough might have been ones that I've discovered already on the PlayStation 5 save, because instead I'm playing through on the PlayStation 4 save. As simple as that really. Obviously if there was something I could do about it, if I had the original gameplay footage, then we wouldn't need to go through re-record this version and post-commentate it. But unfortunately, that's not quite how it goes. But I did realise my mistake, and what I do have is footage from the ending of the level. So as soon as we beat this level, I will cut back to the footage of that original bit that I have, where obviously we have the levels completion, and then me jumping back into the MAP, where obviously this is next episode content we're getting into now. But at the very end we're going to clear out the Imaginite vault and see what Imaginite we have earned, and because that will be back on PlayStation 5 save, it will be discovering all that content for the first time.
Oh yeah.
Or discovering all that Imaginite content, I should say. And one final thing to take of note before we digress into more regularly scheduled post-commentary is the fact that off-camera I have also gone through and leveled up a bunch of my Imaginators. My Dark Quickshot is now a lot higher level than it was previously, and I don't conceive of this as cheating. Like, yes, half of the challenge with Imaginators is playing them solo leveled against higher leveled challenges in the game. But in this case, say going through and leveling them up off camera isn't particularly criminal because I do it with other Skylanders anyway, like other senseis throughout this series that have been under-upgraded and under-leveled. As long as they haven't been defeated in battle, I have gone through for PlayStation 4 files, for same as for Thumping One Islands you watch right now, so it was recorded on PlayStation 4, but say I'd just go back on this PlayStation 4 and I'd upgrade and level them up off camera and say since the Imaginators here, it's the exact same thing that I'm doing with them. It really is not a cheat, so to speak. If it's been done time and time again, there's no harm, no foul in leveling stuff up off camera and preparing much more for the future of the series, haven't done so off camera. And so long as it's off camera, it basically means that I'm not collecting the Imaginate chests from the PlayStation 5 save. I'm keeping all of the Imaginite pieces that I'm collecting exclusive to PlayStation 5, so pretty much anyone who's going to miss the ones that I got from the original run of Thumping One Islands that was never recorded in the first place because I never actually got around to utilising the recording software of PlayStation 5. And taking advantage of that before quitting out the application and then losing that screen recording in its entirety. It's rather tragic, that sequence of events I just described, how they unfolded. We're here with Barbella now. Obviously there's pizza over here and treasure, but none of this area is even necessary, not even for all areas found. It's just kind of, it's a nice way to heal yourself up, I suppose, so long as you've actually taken damage in the first place, but Barbella is too much of a badass for that, so she never did. And instead, it's just for treasure, actually. Just for treasure and food. That's pretty much all that area is good for. But all of these areas, on the other hand, are very easy to miss. And you need to make sure you access every single one in order to gain access to the all areas found objective. Missing one of those will mean that you miss out on this objective. Even though you don't necessarily, along the way, miss out on collectibles, so it's not really clear the importance of these areas without collectibles being on the side, and it's the same infuriating challenges. Stuff like Thumping One Islands, where you just kind of get to explore these areas entirely because there's no incentive, no reward behind exploring them in the first place. You're just kind of there, and you have to do them for all areas found. But rewards outside of that are basically next to nothing. I mean, this room, you have nothing but Creation Clash to look forward to, and it's not exactly like Creation Clash is a game that I do look forward to. Creation Clash is many things, but fun is not one of them. Now, speaking of fun, this post-commentating is going to be about an hour non-stop, so if my throat at some point starts to sound a little hoarse, I'm just going to power through it, but you now know why, so to speak. This Creation Clash game. I was about to say it was going well, but then Bookshot went ahead and took a Dr. Neo Cortex, which is rather inconvenient. But luckily, this is what I have stones like Golden Queen for. Especially since Pit Boss is the only one that can actually take back Bookshot, and they choose not to take back Bookshot, which is probably a better move, because I could have took both Bookshot and Pit Boss with the right move, but instead, you know, using an airstrike to take down Golden Queen instead is a good move because Wolfgang can't take it back again. And now you're going to go ahead and take out Pit Boss, win with a ratio of 6-3, or simplified, that's 2-1 for every 2 stones on the board for me. The opponent only has 1, therefore they are a loser. Haha. So they're out of here. The Creation Clash game is not really giving us an Imaginate chest added before, which obviously we're going to explore in the next episode. For episode I'm commentating directly after this in one fell swoop, and again I'm going to be cutting them up in the edit as I deem fit. But what's really cool about how I'll be uploading them is that this first episode is going live in the morning, Monday morning, because I never actually got around to finishing my post commentary for this until Sunday, so naturally that means that the episode came out on Thursday, and to make up for that we're going to have a double upload. So this first episode is coming out on Monday morning, and then the second episode, which I'm commentating straight after this as part of the same session, is going to go live only a mere few hours later when it gets uploaded in the evening. So we have a double build to look forward to make up for the lack of an episode on Thursday. Plus, because both of these they come from the same like commentary, post-commentary style, and because they're both of the Thumping One Islands, and then the proceeding of collecting Imaginite from the vault, because of all of them similar themes all running in conjunction with one another, it makes sense for me to instead upload both of those episodes in close proximity to one another, upload them, as I stated before, as a double bill. Thumping One Islands is a longer level than most, so that's why it has to be carried over 2 episodes, and even then we will be returning to this level in due course, as it does include a speedrun objective, one of which is impossible when you're also going out of your way for 100% completion like I'm doing right now. So here we go, Wolfgang is going to get the heck out there because he can speed through. In fact, he might even be someone we rely upon for speedrun. We'll have to wait and see. Not when he is, however, unfortunately going back into that spot which we didn't mean to go back into. So Magic Element is stronger here. It's time back for the debut of Pinata. Boy, I've been looking forward to this. We're going to get these first smashed up good, and you can notice already how it's a debut because the Imaginator's level cap has been upgraded so up to 40, which is slightly lower than it was before, but that's because again we're back in PlayStation 4 save as opposed to PlayStation 5 save. I'm saying a lot of things very quickly. As for one joy post commentary, I suppose things can not only be more focused, but I can also speak with more speed as I can focus solely on commentating as opposed to focusing on both commentating and playing the game at the same time. So that way, neither element of the video suffers due to concentration having been placed on both. Instead, the concentration was placed on one element at a time. Though that candy expired mere seconds before I managed to walk over there, and that was tragic and annoying. It was also tragic and annoying is that the first time I came through on the PlayStation 5, that Imaginate chest was actually an ultimate piece, so we lost out on that. Say that might be the second time we collected that piece in the series, because we collected it once on PlayStation 5 and perhaps we collected it again on PlayStation 4, but I don't really keep track of everything in the series that was collected Imaginate wise. I really should, but here I am, not having been up to those professional standards, and we're finally swapped out here for the water element sensei to correspond to the current element in the area of the water element. So Tide Pool is left, right, centre. Unfortunately, we're unable to switch out instead for Kingpin because we failed to seek out Soul previously in the water realm. Rather tragic that indeed. But you know what? I think Tide Pool is a fine substitute, and after we've seeked out 2 souls of this level, we'll have only 2 more sensei souls to go. Kingpin and Kaos himself. On top of that, we'll also have the Live Sentinel before having seeked out, I should say, every single soul of the series. Then we can complete the game on Nightmare difficulty, complete the Nightmare exclusive Imaginate set, and then we will be that much closer to the 100% completion of the game, something that is required for the completion of the challenge before going through and defeating Kaos himself. This time, not with the funny voice to go alongside. I think one voice crack is one too many for a video as it is already. So Titan Pro here with 600 health. I haven't even taken any hits yet. Yeah, his health bar has definitely seen better days. He is the trigger happy of Skylanders Imaginators, because obviously trigger happy and Sparks Adventure had the lowest health of any Skylander by a country mile. But the distance you can maintain with these characters and just the absolute sheer bombardment from your speed and distance of projectiles is absurd. Like, you don't need to get up close and personal with enemies because you can defeat them from afar and very quickly from afar, so you never have the opportunity to get up close and personal to hit you, hence why to balance them out they have low health to begin with. There's only one Skylander, one sensei that I can think off the top of my head at level 20 with less health than Tycoon Pro. That's Crash Bandicoot, who has 450 health at level 20 even, and that's because of his extra life system. So rather than giving him, a usual regular health bar, instead they significantly reduced it to give you additional lives, so that then the additional lives basically turn it into a more substantial health bar, a more traditional Skylanders health bar, so to say, because after you use up the additional lives, the health you garner from it is the same as saying, oh well, actually he has 600 health rather than 450 health. Obviously you can heal past that, like on your secondary life, yes, you respawn with 60 health again, but you can heal yourself back up to 450 from there. Crash Bandicoot is just, he's useless, so to speak, but we're going to seek out his soul anyway. I won't dare call him useless, he's not the most fun in this game, however. In fact, if anything, he is the utmost lackluster sensei of them all. They really did Crash Bandicoot dirty in this game, and all he needed to compensate that was more health. Yes, for extra lives are great, but that doesn't mean he has to suffer with low health to begin with. I mean, his level 20 count, he has less health at level 20 than most senseis do at level 1. That's how absurd it gets. Wildstorm here, 930 health, almost double that. So we're going to spawn straight in, as you can tell, because we cut out all of the elements of the video where off camera I will have swapped back to Crash Bandicoot, accessed this part of the level, and then swapped back to Wildstorm. But because we're cutting all of that out, it basically means that content doesn't exist to begin with. It doesn't exist within the context of the series, so even though it was something that was made, it isn't something that is part of it all. It's like, you know, if you have TV shows and say there's a character death that is a cut scene, a deleted scene, yes, they filmed that death sequence, but because it was never in the final cut of the TV show, it doesn't exist. It never happened. It's non-canon, this death I'm talking about. So yes, more crates. We are not doing particularly great in the challenge thus far. You'd think of the fact that on the original PlayStation 5 run of the level, I obviously had that practice that I would become an expert at this right now, but as you can tell, I don't quite have the pinpoint precision. It doesn't help that Wildstorm has no agility whatsoever. He can't get from left to right in good time. So it looks like this is going to be a failure of the challenge first time around, and we can't be doing that because we failed to seek out the soul of Dr. Neocortex otherwise, and we're going to need his soul having been seeked out before we get to the next minigame here, because then we can simply just switch out for the soul we've seeked and use Dr. Neocortex to instead access the challenge at hand. It's going to be a shooting sequence which is very heavily inspired by the Sky section of the Swapbook Library. Very cool to see that. I think it's definitely one of the better parts to the Swap Force game. Not even the Swap Force game, the Superchargers game. We're talking about two completely different games here. We're going to say Skylanders games just have too many S's in all their titles. I mean, Skylanders and Alpha Soft has two S's already. One at the beginning and one at the end, which is actually rather poetic. I do like the name Skylanders. I hope I do, given that this is my favourite franchise of all time. And you can't really have a favourite franchise without the name in the first place being something epic. So already, we're off to a better start here. We've missed about 2 crates thus far, but luckily there is quite a margin for error in this minigame, including that other chest I also missed, that third one. But we're already almost halfway there. We're at 21 crates. Nice, that's 10 plus 9, that is. We collected 10 crates, and then we collected number 9 crates. So that 10 plus 9 does in fact 21 crates that we had, but now all the way up at 30 instead, so the joke is already outdated. I made a joke and then 30 seconds later it was outdated. That is the story of my life. Here we are, 38 chests. We've missed even more. We bounce off that one, you've got to be very careful when you bounce, but luckily you can still quite easily maneuver yourself in midair. We've also got to be careful that we don't run into too many houses, because this otherwise is how Wildstorm gets defeated, and that would be the most annoying way for Wildstorm to be defeated and classed as dead and no longer viable for use throughout the remainder of the series. What I just described right there, dictionary definition of tragedy. Shakespeare ain't got nothing on that level of tragedy, but here we are, having seeked out the soul of Dr. Neocortex, so as per normal, we're going to preview him and see what it is he has to offer. Now, his figurine kind of annoys me the way it's weighted, because it's so back weighted. He winds up falling over more often than not. He needed way more weight being put at the front to balance him out a little bit. But hey, he's not the only character with this problem. A lot of giants are also weighted awfully, so they fall over way too easily. It's why we need sky sleeves for loose figures, but as Asgard has stated, that is, you know, too specific. You can't really make something so niche. Ooh. But these stompers, niche as they aren't being very successful. For Void, on the other hand, so far has gotten more casualties to it than the frickin' stompers in Thumpin' Wumpa Islands. They're not really doing much thumping, not successfully. We've got plenty of Wumpa though. That's all the fruit we've been collecting. So obviously the apples in Crash Bandicoot, they count towards your completion objectives and your additional lives if you collect enough of them. But here, they're just treasure there. 100 treasure a pop, but luckily we get plenty of Wumpa fruit from a single crate. So it's very satisfactory indeed. And I just like the way how they've done it. Again, it's a perfect combination of two franchises. It's like how Super Smash Bros. Brawl did a great job bringing together all of its many different franchises for its Subspace Emissary single player mode. Obviously, there are other great franchises that combine themselves together quite well. Fundamentally, Skylanders could even be considered a Spyro spin-off. Obviously, the first name of the game the first game of a franchise, if I can cease with the stuttering. It's named after Spyro. Spyro is in the name of the game, quite literally, when it comes to the first game of the Skylanders franchise. But really, outside of it being called Spyro's Adventure and Spyro being a figure in most of the games, outside of that, these aren't really Spyro games. From Swapfest onwards, they really did adapt their own identity, and they were very successful games worthy of their own identity right there. So Spyro games did not. Even then, you would consider this game as more of a successful Skylanders or Spyro Crash Bandicoot collaboration than what the original Spyro and Crash Bandicoot collaboration was back on the GBA. There were party games known as Spyro Orange and Crash Bandicoot Purple, so obviously the name of a character along with what the colour of the opposite character was, and those games are notoriously terrible, despite them being what everybody was asking for, a collaboration between Crash Bandicoot and Spyro. Despite all of that, they turned out horrendous, so this one from Wumper Islands is superior to that in every conceivable way. It is the Spyro and Crash Bandicoot collaboration that we all deserve to see, even though it's not Spyro. This is Skylanders we're talking about here. And boom! We're Shockwave it again. Using that Shockwave at the perfect time is the optimal way to ensure your success in this mission for the first time around. Hopefully that is the path we're currently on. We have 75 enemies to defeat here, but we're far from done with the challenge, or maybe these are the final 3 enemies, and I'm completely wrong with that fact altogether. We'll soon tell, because this was recorded a while back. It just took me a while to get around to the commentary, or for recording the post commentary. That is, I've been too busy either continuing to record the series. I'm now about 10 episodes ahead. Those episodes now just need editing, but I've also been recording the Carry Unlock on top of that, and you wonder why I don't have time to make videos outside of those, because just make a single episode of Carry Unlock or the Imaginator Soul Seekers series, that's a day's work in and of itself. You know, not only do I need to record, and I need to edit, which takes 4 times the video's length at the bare minimum. Most of the time it takes longer than that. But then I also need to render the video, export it, upload it, make a thumbnail, and for the Imaginator Soul Seekers thumbnails, most senseis don't have like transparent renders that I can easily find off of Google, so I have to make them from scratch, and that in the thumbnail process takes another couple of hours.
You've done
you know,
well,
not to toot my own horn and saying how much effort has to go into these videos. That was a great frame drop from PlayStation 4, by the way. For some reason, on PlayStation 4, Imaginator just does not perform very well. Like, as you saw, we had a very significant frame drop there, a very noticeable one, which, technically speaking, the PlayStation 4 is more than capable of handling Imaginators, so the freeze frames right there are a fault on behalf of the developers, more so than the software that is running on that being PlayStation 4. Let's preview Crash Bandicoot without further ado, now that we have seeked out his soul. They see him spinning, they hate it, but that's not the last time we're going to see those mini-games, because those mini-games appear once again in the level, both of them, that is, the crate smashing and the shooting. So we'll see both those again later, where there'll be Imaginite chest and treasure chest up for grabs. Obviously, we want them both, so we'll be spending a while on those, shall we say, to foreshadow what is coming up. But for Light Element and Stronger here, we only want to remain as Dr. Neo Cortex in order to grab that food before the next shooting section, so that then we'll have health. Because if you're defeated in those mini-games, it's a regular defeat. Your Skylander will be classed as dead, and they won't be able to be used throughout the remainder of the series. We don't want to have that happen and be inflicted upon Dr. Neo Cortex and Crash Bandicoot before they have the opportunity to seek out their shrines. Otherwise, we'll be locked out from 100% objective, and this challenge will therefore be made impossible because we need that 100% completion objective before defeating Kaos and completing the series as a whole. Now, as you can tell, on my PlayStation 5 save, I actually upgraded this character a bunch, so the rainbows and the primary attack are pretty powerful now. Like, the primary attack really reminds me of a Tri-Tip, how it smashes the ground so hard it leaves like lingering damage from the ground, just kind of like destroying itself. The ground is erupting from itself from how hard you've pounded it. It's like Glenn's face in The Walking Dead when he's brutally killed off. That is a sequence that I'm not going to be showing before you, because first of all, that's why I'm in the edit and I can be asked to unfold upon. But second of all, it is the easiest way to speedrun YouTube demonetization. Video clips like that. But those of you who've seen The Walking Dead, you know exactly what I'm talking about. So Smashers and The Walking Dead, they perform that to the ground, what Negan did to Glenn's head. But now we can actually swap out the Crash Bandicoot on camera. We don't need to cut out all this content because we have successfully seeked out the soul of the Crash Bandicoot thanks to Dr. Neo Cortex's minigame right there. So now that Crash Bandicoot is officially part of the series, we can switch out from him if and when we please, so long as the element of the area is corresponding with his element, the life element that is. So long as that condition is met, we can indeed swap out the Crash Bandicoot if and when we like. So we now have a hot chili challenge, and after we're done with this, we are in fact going to conclude this episode, but I'm going to continue recording this post-commentary in one fell swoop, so we'll have that continuation to look forward to in a few hours from now when I upload this second episode as a double bill for the day. Yes, at least on this fine Monday evening we have 2 episodes of Skylanders Imaginators Soul Seekers to look forward to. I think we really do need to try and start getting ahead with Skylanders Imaginators Soul Seekers, otherwise this series is going to be around forever. I mean, we are talking at least 50 episodes for this series based on how many Imaginite chests I'm going to have to collect, so yes, for more frequently I can upload this series, the better. Already Crash Bandicoot is halfway down his health bar because he just really does not have much health to begin with right there. And after all of this painstaking effort, that's 48 right there. You think this would be fine because there's all those crates coming up later on. Nope, we fell just short because those crates do not count, and that means we're going to have to come back and attempt this challenge a second time, but that's going to be something we reserve for the next episode. So for now, let's collect the fruits for our labour, quite literally. That is one per fruit right there. Then we're going to open up the treasure chest, and then we're going to get out of here and conclude the episode. So yes, give me that sweet glorious treasure, and now that we are officially out of here, I will see you in the next episode. But until then, we have an outro to see us through. I cannot, in good conscience, end off this video without first thanking all of my incredible channel members whose continued support help make these videos possible. Without them, these videos would be near impossible to make, so from the bottom of my heart, I truly appreciate every last one of them. If you enjoyed this video and would like to see more, there are plenty of options on screen now to explore, and please consider subscribing to keep up to date with all my content. On that note, this video is coming to an end, so thank you so much as always for watching. Until the next video arises, peace!